Hey everybody, State Representative Ken Clark here with another update. It's been a while since I sent an update, but I'm going to the convention shortly, and I'm really looking forward to this trip. I felt like this would be a good time to talk about national politics, presidential election. I don't typically get into this stuff, but you know, this is kind of a huge issue. Okay, so you all know that I was a Bernie supporter, am a Bernie supporter, and I announced that on a blog post back in February, and I'll link to that somewhere around here if I can find a place. I encourage you to go have a look at it, because in that blog post, I said, if Bernie doesn't make it, I will happily support Hillary Clinton, because this election is incredibly important for Democrats. And I want to talk about that a little bit, because there has been so much acrimony in this primary election. I hope to maybe put it into perspective a little bit. We've seen a lot of Hillary supporters and Bernie supporters going after each other, and it feels like this is unprecedented, but I just want to remember I worked in the 2000 campaigns and 2004 campaigns, and I was very close to the 2008 campaigns, and it always feels like the candidates are at each other's throat. So I hope we can put it a little bit in perspective about what that really means, and the fact that we can get through that. I mean, this is an incredibly important election. Donald Trump is not fit to be president. This is a man who makes a lot of promises, asks you to trust him, knows nothing about foreign policy, treats minority groups, women, immigrants terribly. He is not the message that we want to send to the rest of the world. And he also has like the worst rating of all time for lies on PolitiFact.com. We can't have this man as president. But I want to say to my friends, my Bernie supporter friends, who are maybe thinking to vote for the Green Party or not vote at all, that to please consider a couple things that I don't think folks have talked about enough here in this primary election. Number one is this refrain that both candidates are terrible doesn't mean we shouldn't make a wise choice. It's the nature of our political system, whether you like it or not, that it boils things down to two candidates. I even worked in the Australian elections in 2006. They had 5 parties, but they had 2 major parties, and people bellyached about that too. It's kind of part of the way we do things. The other thing to keep in mind, layered on top of this, is the role of this kind of saturating effect of social media that we didn't have in 2008. So back in 2008, you'd go read the newspaper or read something online. You didn't have 20 articles a day going in front of your computer screen on Twitter or Facebook telling you that this candidate, who's a fallible human being, is actually the devil. And the reason we see that is because of clickbait. And we see, if you follow down those articles, they're usually on some kind of resource that's not really a reputable news source. They don't have editorial oversight, and they don't have fact checkers. But they are presented as if they are news. So I think we need to reflect and think, does that have an effect on us over time to turn normal people into terrible, evil people? And I've thought about that a lot recently as this thing has proceeded. Now, this is not, don't get me wrong, Donald Trump is not fit to be president, but we don't need clickbait or articles to tell us that. It comes right out of his mouth, the things that he has said. Now, take the case of Hillary Clinton, though. After 6 separate investigations against her over decades, she's never been found guilty of anything. And I think that probably a lot of that has to do with the fact that the people investigating her see her as a threat politically, because she's an intelligent, strong, qualified woman, and they were threatened by that. Now, I have a quote here that I want to read to you, so I apologize, I'm going to have to read a little bit, but it's from a guy named Noah Long, and he works for a national environmental group in New Mexico. He wrote an article in one of the newspapers there, and I'll link to that. And my friend sent it to me. And I thought it was really a good quote. So here's what it is. Quote, "Is a vote an act of moral expression, or is it one small tool in active democracy? If a vote is a moral expression, then voting for the lesser of 2 evils is a reprehensible ethical compromise. If it is a tool, merely a pragmatic mechanism to improve your options to address change going forward, not a fulfillment of conscience, but a way to attempt to keep the door open to the change you believe in, then voting for the better of 2 imperfect options is the only logical step. I have come to believe voting is a tool, not a moral expression," end quote. So in other words, having representatives, or I'm sorry, having reservations about a candidate is fine. You can still vote for that candidate, but what you need to be able to do is, once they are elected, organize and keep them on point and keep them to meet their promises or go the direction you want to go. And that's what I hope Bernie supporters will do in this case. I know I'll be ready to do that. There's another quote here I thought that was really good from Noah. Quote, "Political revolution means showing up for the midterm congressional elections. Some folks blame Barack Obama for not delivering on all of his promises from 2008. I blame us," says Noah. "We asked for the changes in 2008, then too many of us forgot to vote in 2010. We must stop doing that," end quote. This election is about having a tool for change. I did not agree with everything that Hillary Clinton, all of her policies, but I did not believe and do not believe that she is the devil that the conservative Republicans make her out to be. That is just way too convenient. We all must be pragmatic in this election, because in the end, the day after the election in November, I would rather wake up with the knowledge that I'm going to have Hillary Clinton as a president than Donald J. Trump. And I hope you agree with me on that. And I hope that we all get out and speak to people about that. I know I'll be speaking about it at the convention and when I come back. So I look forward to hearing your comments on this admittedly long video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.